Then chaps, welcome to another video. So in today's video what we're going to be doing is making this thing louder basically. This is it guys, this is the exhaust I managed to get hold of. What we need to do first then is I've just put the car up on the ramps. I'm going to crawl underneath the car and just offer it up to it first and kind of see what we're playing at. I feel that obviously this is the centre section without the box in it, but I know that the pipe under there is a bit longer, and then this is the other pipe which is longer than the one which is under there, so I think I might have to cut it here and then do a joint, but you know, we'll get to it when we get to it. So let's pop it under the car and let's see what we're working with. Never believe what you hear on the internet, because this exhaust does not fit. Like I said, this is from a Corsa C, and the one outside is a Corsa D. So where doesn't it fit? Right, well this hanger on here, which is obviously for a Corsa C, is like there on a Corsa D. This pipe is absolutely useless because the fuel tank's in the way, and on the Corsa Ds it goes up, it goes down like that, then round like that, and then back in. So this isn't enough of a curve. So that bit is completely useless. This bit, we might still be able to use it. So what I'm thinking about doing is cutting the hanger off the new exhaust, and then I know that you can buy like a universal one where you can just bolt it on to an exhaust, like a universal hanger. So I'm going to get hold of one of them universal hangers so that I can move the hanger forward on it so I can fit it on the Corsa D. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the end bit of this piece so then I can use that as a joint, and then on the standard centre section on the D I'm going to cut the centre section down, so it's obviously cutting the back box out, but then that bit of the pipe I said what kind of wraps around the fuel tank, that bit will stay. So then by cutting that joint, that obviously the wider piece there, I should be able to join the end of this onto the end of the standard exhaust on the D. So it's going to be a bit of a Frankenstein's monster, but it'll work and it'll be sealed and everything else. It's just about the hanger, which is a bit of annoying really, because I haven't picked one up. So I might just, I don't know, let's just start cutting stuff up. Safety first guys. So what I did was I cut the hangers off this bit of the exhaust here. I was going to start cutting them from the main pipe, but then as I was starting to cut I was realising I might actually start cutting through the pipe, which you don't want because that's what you start, that obviously blows and stuff. So I just chopped the hanger from either side there. It's under the car. It's not pretty, but nobody's going to see it, so I'm alright with that. And then I had a moment of genius. This is the joining pipe from the standard exhaust, what's still lying around in the unit, and that just went onto the end there and then obviously joined up to the other part of the exhaust pipe. So that was held on with a tack weld, so I just obviously grinded the tack weld off, gave it a couple of taps with a screwdriver and a hammer, and that'll be perfect for joining obviously that pipe there. So what I do is I put that on the end there like that, and then join that to the standard bit of pipe from underneath the car, and then happy days then, happy days. So what we got to do now is we've got to go and try and get the exhaust off the Corsa. I'm not looking forward to this. Taking off the exhaust from the Corsa is reasonably simple. So right at the front of the car we have 4 bolts here just coming off your exhaust manifold. So what we want to do is squirt them with a little bit of WD-40 first, and then nip them off, and then you've got your 2 rubber mounts there as well. what I normally do is I just put a little bit of WD-40 on them as well, just because it kind of helps them wiggle themselves out. Sometimes the rubber gets a bit stiff. So let's get these nipped off and let's get the exhaust off. We're also going to take out this beam here. It's just 2 bolts, one either side. It's just like a strut brace of some sort, just because I just think without that it'd be easier. I've just undone these bolts now. That was a pain in the ring. Just get this bracket off and get the rest of the exhaust off. And here it is with the centre section out. I know these YouTubers, and I know sometimes I make stuff look easy. That was not easy to get out. I was about 45 minutes to an hour wrestling, just trying to get the back box I put on the other week, just because obviously exhaust pasted it, which is like glue, and it just didn't want to come off. It was putting up a fight. So, but anyway, it's off. And this is the new centre section. Now this is the thing I was talking about before, is one, obviously the length of it. So what we're going to be doing is obviously cutting this pipe down about here-ish and then extending it with this extension piece on the end, which then will go to the back box. The other thing as well, I've just trial fitted this and it fits perfect. There's a few, you might notice that this is more of a bend here, where this is a little bit more straighter, but what that's just to compensate for the obviously the box, to make that sit more central underneath the car. But I've just trial fitted it and it's spot on. So you'll see here, this is where I cut the mounting brackets off for the hangers anyway, and then you see on this box here the hangers are here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to fit this without hangers on it for now, so it might rattle a little bit, but when I next pass the shops I'll go and pick up a set of hangers, and obviously that bit there as well. And when you're taking the centre off, I forgot to mention before, is obviously make sure you unplug your thingy sensor. It's easy to unplug it and then remove it when it's off the car, than trying to do this underneath the car, because that is an absolute nightmare to get to. So just unplug it, and then once it's off, then undo that. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to measure this up and then obviously cut the standard one down to the size. There is a little bit of wiggle room with these things, so I mean it doesn't have to be 100%, but if you can get it near on 100%, it's always better. So let's get this exhaust measured and cut down, and then let's start fitting this new one underneath the car. And that is the exhaust cut down to size. So if you notice what I've done here, I wrapped a piece of tape round where I wanted to cut, and what that does is it just allows me to make, you know, a reasonably straight cut. So what I'll do now is just obviously get a file and just file these edges down a little bit so it's nice and clean, and then bolt it up to the bracket you doobly what's it, and then trial fit under the car, and hopefully it all fits. And there it is. So that's with the obviously the bracket. I've left that quite loose for now, just so you know we have a bit more wiggle room while we're trying to fit underneath the car. One good thing I'm happy about doing it this way is I can kind of keep that, and if you know I think it's a bit too loud and whatnot, you know, I can just basically do the same to that box as I've done to this one, where I just join this section up, and I've got my centre silencer now. So what I just need to do now is take this thing off, fit that onto there, and then we'll get it back underneath the car. Little heads up as well, when you're taking these things off, they are an absolute nightmare. I mean, that's how much the spanner dug in when I was trying to get it off. But yeah, to save yourself a lot of effort next time you come to do it, just put a little bit of copper grease on the threads and then stick it back in. Oh my god, look at the state of my face. Right, I must admit something. I may have kind of left the camera out on the side whilst I was fitting the exhaust, and it's really hot today and it may have kind of overheated, so I had to wait for the camera to cool down. But it's on, it's sorted, it's fixed. It put up a fight. Obviously from before I obviously had to cut that hanger off. It's on quite solid, but I am still going to get one of them little universal hangers. So I'll go and pick one of them up this week and get that underneath it, because I mean it's absolutely fine because it's not taking any weight of any box anymore, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So we're going to sort that out. I haven't heard this yet. I thought I'd wait until, you know, my camera's working so I can share this with you guys. Sounds promising already. Let's close this door for a sec. No, it's because of the boot. Let's give it a bit of a... Oh my god. That's it, guys. Absolutely buzzing with this. Oh, it sounds naughty. Oh, but I love it though, because it doesn't sound too fat, can it? You know, it is at the end of the day just a 1.4 Corsa. It's, you know, it doesn't make it any quicker, but it does make it sound a hell of a lot cooler. Yeah, absolutely chuffed to bits with it. This is where I'm going to leave this video for tonight. Just want to say a massive thanks for watching. You know, huge thanks for the subscribers and everything else. You know, it's awesome. Until next time, guys, see you later.